After the trade of Aaron Donald last episode, Cooper Kupp was on the edge of deciding if he was going to request a trade or not. But after the team just got demolished by the Bengals 45-3, and even with the additions the team brought in with the trade to Donald not making any difference, he decided he was done and ready to move on. So we called up the Saints, who had, a fairly decent receiver group. They had their top three and then, some decent backups, but they didn't have that guy who stays healthy, obviously with Michael Thomas always having injury problems. And they had a corner in Paulson Adebo I was pretty interested in. He's on the younger side, very much focused on the zone coverage, but he has some press ability that we do not have on the roster. We need to work on the man coverage. But we could also bring in a current second round pick, a future fifth round pick, and just to make sure that the dead money and cap space all evened out, we ended up picking up a 57 overall tackle that will most likely be cut. But that sends Kupp to a team who is in their final window of trying to make the playoffs. And for us, it gives us a piece we desperately needed on defense to try to develop who had some actual starting capability. And now with a gap in the receiving room, we decided to fill that with James Washington, 27 years old. He was with the Steelers for a while, had a few years where I feel like he kind of did something and then he kind of faded away. So he'll get one more shot here with the Rams. And to make room for him, we did end up needing to make a cut at the receiving room. And we ended up going with the slowest of them all in Austin Trammell. So he'll be cut, and that'll get us down to the 53. But that is where we start today. Against the Colts, we now need to test where this team is at. And obviously with the trading of Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp, the overalls for our team has just continued to fall. Offense down to a 77, defense a 72. So it's time to test out how well our defense can do against a heavy run attack with Jonathan Taylor. They have the second best offensive rushing game. We have the fourth best rush defense. That's about the only thing we've done well so far, apart from Cam Akers running the ball, which we'll look to do more of today, primarily focusing on that and just almost ignoring the passing game in its entirety because it has not been working at all. So that is the game plan as we get stuck on in. But as we get this battle underway, it will be defense up first, as their returner will take the knee in the end zone, starting them at the 25. And it'll be our first time seeing the rookie quarterback here in Richardson. He's a phenomenal athlete. We'll see how well he does passing the ball, and so far he started the season off not too bad. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, though the yards a little bit lacking. Now with them, I can only assume primarily focusing on the running game. We'll see how much Paulson Adebo actually sees some action, as actually first play is outside and Adebo does get the first tackle, though it is for a first down to Isaiah McKenzie. And it'll be an empty look right thereafter, so apparently the first 2 plays looking to prove me wrong. Figured they would have gone Taylor's way a lot more often than it appears they are, as they'll go underneath another first down for McKenzie. So far, a pretty easy start for Richardson, just 2 simple pitches and catches, getting him going. As they stick with the empty look on this first down as well. Across the middle, no, they go to the outside. Instead, they find Taylor. Paulson Adebo in coverage, though, can't knock it away. And now they finally move Taylor to the backfield, 2 receivers to the right-hand side. It will be a run to the left. Adebo comes in to get the stop, but it is also another first down. Do have to still give Adebo credit, getting stuck into a lot of tackles early on. Playing at Stanford, he's definitely had to tackle well, as Taylor has a nice juke there. Makes our man miss, picking up another 5. He's coming off a big game where he ran over $150 and 3 touchdowns. Hopefully we don't see that happen today, as they are driving the ball well on their first possession. Not getting anywhere on that run, though. Good fill from Jones. And that's exactly what we need to see from Jones, because he came in as a run stopper. Doesn't help us out much in coverage, so he's got to do at least that part well. And we'll take the drop from Pittman Jr. We'll force the field goal. I'll take these stops however we can get them. So they will send out the field goal unit, Matt Gay, to boot it from about, what was that, the 37? Right between the uprights, they'll take an early lead. Now, after seeing some of Stetson Bennett last week, Stafford is still going to be the starter for us, as we're still going to primarily stick to the running game. As it's a really nice stop right down the middle. Big number 99 diving gets the tackle. DeForest Buckner might end up being a problem for us across the middle, hopefully not. But we're going to try to spread out these teams as best as we can, including some jet sweep action as we do get it to James Washington, and he'll pick up some yardage for us, leaving a 3rd and 2. It's a little weird seeing him wearing number 8, but I guess it still makes sense because he did wear 28 in college. As we get a run to the outside, ends up being stuffed. 3 defenders there. We'll force a 4th and 3 back at our own 34. But honestly, at this point, I think it's worth going for these win at all possible. So from the shotgun look, hard count, no one jumps. Akers right down the middle, following his lead blocker, will get the first down. And from there, we'll go back to the heavier set, as for some reason it has Williams back there at fullback. Maybe Madden messed with the depth chart, because that's supposed to be the tight end in Keene, because Williams definitely does not get a good enough block on the outside, and Harrison will escort us out of bounds. Which is where Akers will stay as we send out Evans. Has had some decent runs, did have the fumble last week. As we go to him here, it's a quick flag on the play. And that one's going to end up being holding on the second game left tackle in Isaiah Wynn. Don't know how you hold that quickly, but it's what they call, and it's what, I mean, seriously, no one is open at all. How are we so bad at getting a single person open? All on a 3rd and 17. What's the likelihood that we get the first down here? Let's just send Akers straight down the seam. They don't have a safety on that side. Linebacker covers them well. We'll dump this one off, and Jefferson gets the catch, but that's just 5 yards, and from there we'll probably need to punt. So Richardson and this Colts team will head back out. That first drive did go pretty well for them. They were able to just steadily march down the field, and the only reason they stopped was due to a drop on their own part, as Mo Alley Cox gets the catch and the first down. Or actually, correction, not Mo Alley Cox. He just looks very similar, and I could have sworn that Colts were where Mo Alley Cox played, but no, it's actually Thomas who gets back-to-back catches. And considering we're still not getting much of pass rushes, might need to find ways to just design some blitzes. As it works there, we sent the slot corner, nickel corner blitz, and Kendrick gets the tackle for a loss. Probably won't do it all too often, but here where it's just the tight end to that left-hand side, we'll send the outside corner. That's going to be Paulson Adebo. See if we could at least get some coverage. Kendrick's having to get back there to get, does get the tap down. There was no one covering that right-hand side. A great pass from Richardson. Finds Downs downfield for the big first down and ends this first quarter. It's a tight one so far. Colts moving once again. And they'll start from under center with one tight receiver to the right, 2 off to that left-hand side. Sitting in the pocket, Richardson just waiting. Eventually, gonna load up deep for Thomas, who's just by himself. What is happening to the coverage here? Ian Thomas gets the touchdown. Colts go up 2 scores. Well, some work to do for our offense as we're now down 10-0. We really need to end this drive with a touchdown, though. We can't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Play 1. Buckner once again in the backfield. Perhaps we maybe need to install a little bit of some RPO, see if that'll get things moving here. As we do find Akers down the middle, the little juke there will end up picking up the lost yardage plus a couple extra. Meanwhile, he gets into it a little bit with a linebacker, leaving us with 3rd and 8. We'll stay spread, needing to find a first down here. Although pass rush working its way in, we'll barely get rid of it, and we'll have to get rid of this ball via a punt, because again, we go nowhere. Once again, we're relying on this defense to keep us in these games, and you know, they're doing the best they can with the roster that we do have. Taylor will get the catch and manage 3 yards out of it. They're definitely not using him like how I would have expected. This has been primarily Richardson as they stay spread here. Looking for a pass underneath. They will go that way. McKenzie with another first down. Only the 1 incompletion for Richardson on the day is a pretty good way to start for a rookie. As they'll stay spread here. Look to go Taylor, no play action pass, instead popping over the top. Big hit there from the safety, but Downs holds on to it. Now a pistol look, so they're definitely changing things up. A lot of different play calls coming in for the rookie quarterback. A nice juke there from Taylor, shucks off another guy, another little juke, stiff arm, and finally pushed out by Witherspoon. That was more of what I expected. And as they get down close to the red zone here, let's try to bring a safety blitz, maybe to see if that'll get things going perhaps. Pass all the way across. Yeah, knew that's where they were going. Downs avoids one defender. 44 will drag him down at the 1. But can we get a goal line stand? As they hand it off right down the middle, not even close to a goal line stand. Taylor untouched into the end zone, a 3-score game. Well, the question becomes, who's going to make the big plays for us today? Obviously, we're focusing a lot on Akers as we send Washington in motion. Get the handoff to the outside. Akers goes all the way to the outside, and he will pick up the first down, going out of bounds. A little bit of some extra aggression there at the end, but refs let that one slide, as we'll go back to a very similar play. Once again, Washington in motion, though. He's going to take the jet sweep this time, but not getting by Kwity Paye. Great tackle, loss of 2. Always seems like it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back for this team. As we find the cut, a really good cut there from Akers. Found the gap, decent blocking, will pick up the lost yardage plus some. But it's these third downs where we kind of need to be able to pass the ball that we are struggling. Looking for the zig route to the outside. We find him this time. That's going to be a first down by about half a yard, going Van Jefferson's way. From there, we'll go back to the running game. Stick with the same look. Go the weak side dive. Finding the gap, Akers to the outside, breaks off a nice 15-yard run. The blocking there, fantastic. Why can't they just do that in the passing game as well? I'm sure Matthew Stafford would appreciate it, though. He knows very well poor blocking, being from Detroit for most of his entirety, really, of his career. As we do find Johnson, turns up the sideline down to the 14. And from there, we'll send one of the receivers off, bringing out the second tight end at the fullback spot, as he'll try to help lead the way, but DeForest Buckner, once again, pretty sure that's his 3rd tackle for a loss. Perhaps we just need to be attacking more of the outside, as that's where we go here. Cam Akers had a block from his receiver, does pick up the first down, not the touchdown, but we're moving. Just have to find a way to cap the drive off as we stick with the same look. Still have Williams at fullback for some reason, as DeForest Buckner, once again. Maybe if we run at him, we'll get a nice double team. Look for the cutback, and we get the yardage. We also meet DeForest Buckner once again. And maybe if we try to spread them out here. We come out 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Akers, they send the blitz, but we pick it up, and Akers picks up the points. Our first touchdown in over about a game and a half. Akers finally puts us on the board. Now let's just see if that momentum that we started to build finds its way over to the defensive side. See if we could just get a stop here. Doesn't need to be a 3 and out, just a stop, as finally the newer defensive lineman for us makes a play. Straight down the middle, Seiler. Not with the sack, but does get it in his face, forces the quick throw, and also swats it down at the same time while getting a hit in. That's exactly what we need. As they'll continue with this underneath throws, go Pittman's way, and he will pick up the first down, but is shaken up on the play, though it doesn't appear to be interrupting his celebration, but he will head to the locker room. And with just about 40 seconds left before half here, we need to get our stop, as we are getting a little bit of a pass rush coming in, and we skip the hit, but they still get the ball away. So I will still gladly take that, as let's make it audible here. If we're going to go with a blitz, let's go with a man blitz instead. Though we don't particularly play great man coverage, to the outside, somehow Downs just coming down with these passes. Paulson Adebo has been pretty tight in coverage so far, but just not getting the knockaways yet. But just 1 step off is a lot better than where we have been. Pass to the outside, inaccurate. One of the first inaccurate throws we've seen from Richardson. They do still have 2 timeouts in their pocket, with 26 seconds on the board. Sitting at midfield, they need just about maybe 10 or so more yards as they set up the halfback screen, but we blow that one up. And on 3rd and 10, we just need 1 more stop here to get them off the field. This would be a great way to not even allow the field goal attempt, and it's dropped by McKenzie. who's come through for him so many times. That one just hits the deck, and they'll have to punt this one away. And as we take the field with 13 seconds left in the half, will we be able to find anything? How about a throw to the outside, underthrown? When we had Cam Akers wide open. Could have been a gain of like 20, maybe up to about midfield. Instead, inside field goal range for the Colts. I mean, passing game just keeps getting worse. So unless we could force a sack here or a turnover, it looks like the Colts will be adding on at least some 3 points prior to the half as they do go outside. Downs gets the catch. Tackle inbounds, 1 second left. And they will trot on out Gay from about the 19 for the field goal attempt, widening their lead as we hit half. So not the best way at all to end the first half. Field goal could have made it a 1-score game. Instead, widens it to a further 2-score game as they're up 27 at half. Now, as we look around the league, see if anything good happening here for us, as we're kind of having to rely on other teams to also play just as bad. This game not going to directly affect us, but it's a close matchup, 14-13, with the Bills currently on top. Dolphins 3-0, the Bills 2-1. As for the last studio update, Vikings taking on the Panthers, so none of these directly tied to us, but another close game with two 1-2 teams. Vikings currently atop 10-7 just before half. But as we get stuck back into this game, we will be starting off with the ball, so getting that field goal before half really could have been big for us. Instead, the Colts get that field goal, and now we really need Cam Akers to just go off. Though we've been giving him the ball majority of our plays. He probably has the ball 60-65% of all of our offensive snaps, and Forrest Buckner right back in the backfield. Damian Wilson, though, shaken up on the play as he'll head to the sideline. As he'll head to the locker room, we have 2nd and 12. Send Washington in motion once again. Jet sweep, a nice juke there, a pick up and slam down. 44 Franklin with the big hit. That'll leave us with 8 needed on 3rd, and once again we look for a simple passing play, just some slants, but we haven't been able to get this open at all. But to the opposite side, overthrown once again. Stafford maybe sitting at around 30% completion percentage this year. That's a wild guess, but it's probably not too far off. So instead, Taylor and the offense will head out, though they haven't gone his way all too often. That first half was primarily full of passing the ball, and we're going to look to try to stop that passing as we do. This defense is just a long way from where it needs to be. We have guys sitting in the right spots, but they're just not making the plays, whether it's getting the tackle or just getting involved in the catch, whether it's knocking it away, just providing some amount of pressure. I mean, there's just a lot of room for this team to grow, and hopefully we'll see some of them start to do that, though this roster will probably see a major turnover by the time we are done with it. As Taylor gets stuffed there, good stop from the rush defense. Durant comes down to help get the stop, which I do have to say is good progress because he does not have very good tackling ratings. I want to say his tackle is like a 37. So if he is doing that, it's fantastic. Jones meets Taylor and actually does get the stop. The refs do not give him that extra progress there at the end. The defense bows up, forces the 4th down, but it looks like they're going to go for it here. 4th and short, right down the middle. Taylor goes nowhere. Jones finishes up what he started, and we'll get a stop, turnover on downs. Now, as we've said many times before, we'll say it once more. Can we build on that momentum? We actually don't get tackled in the backfield that time by Buckner, gain of 2. But it definitely feels like we should be trying to attack the outside in this one. So let's slide Williams over. No matter how many times I tell Madden to stop putting him there at fullback, Madden just keeps doing that because he's not getting the lead blocks for us. Does help us out a little bit there, more of like a basketball screen, but a great run there from Akers. And perhaps those are just the kind of runs we need to go after. Stick to the outside in this one may help us out. As we go with some counter, we have some lead blocks, and that's why I don't want Williams out there. But another great run, another first down for Akers. Now, after all these run plays, I just want to find one play action pass that will work for us. But the coverage just keeps really being phenomenal, as that one was actually not a bad attempt, and do not tell me. On the last play, we don't even get the animation for it. An injury came in for Akers, the only guy on our offense doing anything. As we go with a run down the middle, Evans will pick up some yards, but a flag also comes down. That'll end up being holding on our center. Backing us up, 2nd and 20. Look for the cutback, and we go nowhere. And now the backup running back is injured too. We're down to one running back. The only thing we could do well on this team is run the ball, and we're down to one guy. Well, let's hope Williams can get the job done. As we do have a 3rd and 20, we find Higbee right down the seam. 1st down, a quick little pop-up pass. Finally, one of those plays works for us. As we'll go to the run, Williams tries to get to the outside. We had the outside, unfortunately just couldn't get out there. Luckily though for us, Evans does make a quick return, just a bruised forearm, so he'll head back out. As we'll have a guy open underneath, but the bad throw straight to Leonard will be another turnover. This team just doesn't want to win. I mean, you could throw to that receiver, no problem. Throw to the right-hand side. You throw to the left, and an interception like that can happen. Pop-up throw in the RPO as Downs somehow breaks away from the first 2 hits. Luckily, Fuller there able to get the stop. From pistol this time with a tight end stack to the right-hand side will be a stretch. And Jones is there to slow down Taylor. Fuller will clean up. 2nd and 4, sticking with the pistol look as we send the blitz. Taylor to the outside, shakes off, I think that was a Debo. Fuller not getting the stop, and it's Witherspoon who will eventually get the tackle at the 30. Defense just, again, continually puts themselves in the right spots, but just doesn't quite make the plays. That time, though, we weren't in the right spot, nor making the plays. They have a 1st down once again, courtesy of Downs, who's really, he's played phenomenal in this one. We brought in the new corner, and I can't say it's necessarily making much of a difference as Richardson will scramble out, read option. And it will be another touchdown for the Colts as they go up 27-7. Or perhaps not. Perhaps they want the 2-point conversion, and by perhaps I mean they do. They're going out to try to convert the 2-point play as they send these slant routes. 2 going off to this right-hand side, and hey, there we go. A sack from Seiler, though it doesn't fully count because it was a 2-point conversion attempt. But we'll take the 26-7 deficit as the offense is going to head back out. Akers was just suffering from cramps, so we might see him a little bit more as this game goes along. And in fact, he will be out there to start this drive, but I want to look for a weak side run here. As we have all the guys stacked to that right-hand side, let's attack the left. A little juke there will end up getting us a couple extra yards. Gain of 6. He needs just 8 more yards to pass 100 on the day, and with an entire quarter to do that, I'm sure he will. As a patient run there will net a couple yards and send us inside the 4th quarter. Still down quite a lot of points. This team does not really know how to not even score quickly, but score in general. But we know who our guy is, and that is Akers. And we'll go to him once again here on 3rd down. Sticks the foot in the ground and picks up the 1st. Though with the cramps being an issue, we'll probably rotate him a bit more here in the 4th quarter, bringing out Evans this time as we try to get the run to the outside and just can't juke by the safety. Good open field tackle. And on 2nd and 8, try to go with a little bit of a play action pass right across the middle. We'll find Washington, who spins off the 1st attempt, then just gets shoved down. But it's a positive passing play, and those we don't see too often. As we have a 3rd and 3, hard count, no one jumps. Hand this one off. Evans is close, 3rd and inches. We'll quickly get back to the line here. As we now have a double team on Buckner, that might help us out. Though we don't double him, why would you not double him? Come on, AI, do a little bit better than that. DeForest Buckner, tackle for a loss once again, and a turnover on downs. Meanwhile, for us, Downs also a problem on defense, as the receiver Downs has had a phenomenal game. Over a $150. Good tackle there from Durant, though, coming down from that safety spot. So I'd say that might be the silver lining for this episode. Durant is doing well at his new safety spot, though the trade to bring in a new corner hasn't quite worked out all too well yet. Though I hope we will get Paulson Adebo going. I know he could be a good guy for us, we just have to get a lot of other things going for us as well. As an audible for the Colts, they send 2 off to the left, 1 to the right, couple guys underneath, couple guys sitting as Richardson looking to scramble, Jones and a few others in pursuit. Tackle comes in, 97. We'll get the sack, that is Hoach. Though it does not appear that sack knocked him out of field goal range. They will send out Gay from about the 43 mark at a 53-yarder. That one is up and right down the middle, make it 29-7. And for maybe the final time in this game, we will see this offense take the field, looking just for a complimentary score. You know, just the Colts just let it happen. Come on now. But being completely honest, the Colts had a very good game today, and DeForest Buckner continues to destroy us down the middle. Even when we try to get rushes to the outside, he's done very well. And on 3rd and 8, we're giving it to Akers once again, trying to find the space, and he'll find some space. He is over 100 yards on 24 carries. And we'll see if he could get us the first down one more time. As we attack this left side of the line, we have the edge, we have the tight end downfield, though we're not going to get by 32. I believe that was Blackman with a nice open field tackle, but the first down gained by Akers. Maybe see if we can find ourselves a little bit of play action rollout off of that. Dump this one off for the tight end turn fullback, and we'll get some yards and then out of bounds. Mostly we're just trying to give our running back Akers a little bit of a breather as we're going to motion out Allen. Go back to that stretch to that left-hand side, though they read that one very well. And I feel like we've had a lot of 3rd and 8s today, as we have another one, which will go with a little bit of a shorter pass, hopefully. No, dump this one off outside, going to find Allen, who is close to the first down. Let's jump into hurry up, see if we could get the snap right down the middle. Buckner destroys us once again. And I think that's where we're going to end this one. DeForest Buckner, once again, turnover on downs. The offensive line can't pass block. They can't run block. Akers is doing all he can to lead this team, but he needs help. And that's what we're going to have to try to find the rest of this season, is how can we get Akers some help? Because right now, Stafford, he's not throwing accurate passes. The line isn't holding up for us in either spot, so potentially we might need to find some new offensive linemen and maybe see what other work we're able to build for just this season. Maybe find some key guys to move forward with. But this roster definitely needs massive turnover. And I will say we have not opened up this series with any sort of easy games. We've actually had some pretty tough games to start off with, and that will continue against the surprisingly 2-2 Philadelphia Eagles next time. And any changes we make, it's going to be a tough defense for us to go out and try to face. So hopefully the changes we do make come up big for us. We really need to find a way to just help out Cam Akers, whether it's just getting some form of a short passing game going, or complementary blockers, maybe get a true fullback perhaps. There's something we need to do to get this team going, because they are massively struggling and want these games to be entertaining. And while it's funny to see how bad a team is playing against some of these other guys, but want some success sprinkled in there as well. So we'll look to make some more changes once again as we move into the next episode. This series comes out every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, so 4 times a week. And then on Wednesdays and Saturdays, we have the state-only challenge, currently the Virginia. So to make sure you don't miss out on any of those, hit that bell icon in the bottom right, or scroll down, hit the actual subscription button, and take that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. As mentioned, 6 full-length videos every single week, plus all the shorts highlighting everything going on. And granted, this series isn't giving us a whole lot to highlight, but we're trying to find the silver linings where we can. And there are a few young guys who are starting to kind of catch their groove, though the play still needs to go up a few notches. So hopefully we'll see that happen as this season takes its course and we start to plan for the future. Again, by the time we get probably around week 8 and then further, we'll start taking a further look at the draft, seeing what moves we may or may not be able to make, and maybe make a couple more trades prior to week 8, just to start that rebuilding process. I don't even know if you say rebuilding, tear down and then start from scratch process. So that is what we have to look forward to next time. So until then, we'll see you guys later. Bye.